It's just water. We are All Souls Unitarian Universalist Church. I'm the Reverend Ron Phares. Pronouns are he, him. Really glad to see you all today. You all braved the icy roads. And I don't know is Jennifer, who took care of our parking lot this morning, is she here? Is there a Jennifer here? Well, wherever you are, Jennifer, if you are tuning in from afar, thank you so much for allowing us to gather here in person. It's good to be together. This is our weekly pilgrimage to ourselves and each other, to tradition and progression, whether right here or in warm-blooded proximity to one another, or at home watching from the comfort of our pajamas. We are made one by our attention. So, can we demonstrate our wholeness by giving a hearty wave to those who are not with us in person this morning? Thank you for beaming in. I imagine there are more of you than normal there. So thanks for attending, and thank you all for making the journey. Of course, All Souls is more than Sundays, and to find out how you can plug in, I invite you right now to take out your phone, open your photo app, aim it at the QR code, tap on it, and that should take you to our newsletter. So now you're going to ignore that, but later, probably when you're going to the bathroom, you're going to open your phone, and there's going to be our newsletter. You'll have something to do. So I invite you to make a habit. We'll do this at the beginning of service each week. I won't necessarily walk you through the steps each week, but there it'll be. And I really do encourage you to find out what is going on here at All Souls, because somebody should know, you know? All right. Thank you. I'm here all week. All right, now that we are more aware of what's going on in and around this place, let's get more aware of what's going on within ourselves. So can we take a deep breath together? This really settles us in and sort of lets our body know that we are here. Let's do one more breath together. Prepare for this service by carving out a little space and giving that space a place to home. So find a stillness in your heart. Follow your breath. Be at home in your body. Allow the cloak of your soul to lend you comfort, rooted as it is outside of time and circumstance. Make yourself permeable to the eternal. This stillness, let it hold you and let it restore you. In a poem called Wait, poet Galway Kinnell writes, "Wait for now. Distrust everything if you have to, but trust the hours. Haven't they carried you everywhere up to now? Personal events will become interesting again. Hair will become interesting. Pain will become interesting. Buds that open out of season will become interesting. From this centered space, this stillness, this good soul home, we are able to welcome the world without fear. We are able to welcome each other with loving hearts. We are able to feel gratitude for our bodies and for the body of the life-giving, dream-saturated land. The land of the Ute, Comanche, Arapaho, Apache, Cheyenne, Kiowa, Pawnee, and Lakota, and now the land of you as well. From this stillness, we are able to welcome the cast-off parts of ourselves and the selves of our society that has been cast off as well. Here, all souls are welcome. It is within this bountiful welcome that both souls, of both souls and spaciousness, that we take the first steps into building a more beautiful world that our hearts know is possible. With that in mind, I invite you to rise in body or spirit as we sing our first hymn of the day.
Good morning. My name is Stan Kidder, and my pronouns are he, him, and I'm the head of the Pledge Drive Committee. So we're still working on the Pledge Drive. So this morning we had 24 pledges recorded in Breeze, our database system, yes. Last year at the end of the Pledge Drive, we had 98 pledges. So we're coming along pretty well. But I haven't done my pledge yet, so don't be like me, go home, do it. I'll do it today, I promise, okay. Here's how you do your pledge if you haven't you figured this out before. It's up on the screen there. The preferred way to do it is online because it goes right into our system, then we can process the data and it works out great. So that's the best way. There's a QR code up there. If your camera is good, and can focus in on that, you could do it. If not, the web address is asuuc.net. That's the same as the church website. They just say /pledge, and then it goes. Okay, asuuc.net/pledge. The other way to do it is right in front of you, except for the people in the front row. There's in the pew boxes, you'll see a form that looks like that one on the left, okay? You can pick up one of those. It's a paper pledge form and fill that out. There you go. Thank you. And if you're on Zoom, I'll mail you a pledge form, a paper pledge form. If you like, you have to tell us that you'd like one. Also, you can email stewardship at asuuc.org, not net.org. Okay, we have two things going on there, and that will get to this, gets to me and to also our treasurer Dave Lugg. So you could ask questions there, or you could just email your pledge there. Okay. Simple. And finally, if you'd like to do it by telephone, the church office phone number is right there. You could do it to the church office. Cat's busy, so it's not the best way to go, but it works. It works. If that's your choice, fine. Go ahead and do it. Okay. So let's see. Now, to offer a little inspiration, I'd like to introduce board member Andy Walker, who's going to tell us his UU story. Andy.
Good meowing, everyone. My name is Andy Walker. My pronouns are he, him, and I am on the All Souls Board of Trustees. And I'm going to tell you a little story about me. In 2006, I was kind of a lonely guy. I hadn't been to church in like 10 years, and yet I found myself standing on the sidewalk out there, and I said to myself, Andy, what the hell are you doing here? I didn't know. I knew of the church. I knew it was unusual. And so I walked in and I found a community. It's not what I expected. I expected a dry speech and boring sermons, but instead I got David Knight, who was very funny. Then later on I got Nori, and she was funny too. Now we got Ron. So I found a loving, warm, welcoming community that has supported me through one of the worst times of my life and some of the best times as well. It's a great place to be. And honestly, I could go on for hours about what a good community this is.
Andy, 5 minutes.
But I won't. The fact is there are a lot of reasons to support this community, and one of the things I like about the UU community at large is the fact that we tend to practice what we preach. we tend to put our money where our mouth is. And so right here, right now, live and in person, if I can get my phone to operate, it's always a technical difficulty that slows things down. There we go. I've got the form up, I've got all my information in there, and I'm just going to go ahead and submit.
25.
I have made my pledge for the next year. I raised it 20% from last year. So I ask that all of you, if you can, do the same. This is a great community, and thank you for listening to me.
A religious community is like a river formed from the many streams of our lives that meet and merge and flow to the sea. As members and friends of All Souls, we share our time and energy, our creativity, imagination, and vision, our talents, skills, and gifts, and the streams of our individual lives to create a river that is both deep and broad. A river that is made of many streams, sustains life and refreshes the land through which it flows. But the river of this community also depends on our shared financial support that makes real our shared values and vision. We will now receive an offering for the support of this religious community and its work in the world. You are invited to give generously and joyfully as you are willing and able.
So today's an all ages service. Some of you may have noticed that. And I got a question for the kids. Kids, can you hear me? Yes. Okay. Have you ever had donuts in church before? Okay. So today, we are doing a donut communion later on in the service, not too much later on. So you will be able to have donuts in church at that time. Now, I think I got too many donuts. So what this means is I'm going to say the word spaciousness a few times. I don't know how many times throughout. Well, actually, I do know how many times throughout my reflection that I'm about to deliver. This is only for the kids. Sorry, y'all. There's other goodies out there after service. If you can tell me how many times during what I'm about to say that I say the word spaciousness, I will give you whatever donuts that we have left over after the communion. It's for kids. What's that? It did not start yet. It did not start yet. Okay, and don't count out loud. Don't count out loud. You don't want to give it away. All right. I will be the sole arbiter of who is a kid and not after the service. I might qualify. So this actually is going to be less of a reflection and more of an invitation. It's an invitation to dream, to get lost in deep distraction. This is an invitation to the window gazer, the wind listener, the light noticer, and yesterday, the snow watcher. This is an invitation to the wandering mind. But a wandering mind needs to be free of constraint. To dream, we need space, mental space, spiritual space. Derivations of the word space count. I see the question on your lips, yeah. So today I invite you into a courtship of time. I invite you into a program wherein together, throughout the next weeks, we may practice the cultivation of time, whose fruiting body is space. So I offer you the experience of spaciousness. By the way, did anybody take, I don't even know if it's on there, I can't see because my glasses are not on, but did anyone take notice the title of today's reflection? So what is the final frontier? No. What? Space, thank you. Oh my God. We have the literalist and the Trekkies. And the literal Trekkies, oh boy. Yeah, space is the final frontier, this section. But it's not, in this case, space out there, it's space in here. So I'm wondering if you know what I mean when I say the experience of spaciousness. And when I was writing this and I asked that rhetorical question, I was like, yeah, what? I don't know. I'm like, how do you describe that? It's actually difficult to describe. And I think it's the sense that, okay, you know how sometimes it feels good? It feels good to inhale deeply. The sense of spaciousness is the emotional part of that delicious inhale. There is an emotional part of a delicious inhale. The sense of spaciousness is akin to that. It inspires even as it soothes. That's what spiritual spaciousness feels like. But in this case, not contingent on lung capacity, or for that matter, on time, or actually on anything. The sense of spaciousness is not a void. To the contrary, it's a creative and healing experience. Spaciousness yields dreams and insights, serenity, and inspiration. It is a pathway to connection and gratitude. And spaciousness can be practiced. So we will engage this morning in one of those practices. And if you wish afterwards to go deeper and do so together in community, you will have the opportunity and the institutional scaffold to do so over the next 6 weeks. As we move through a program that I call Holy, Holy, Holy Days. Because we're creating a hole in our day in order to experience the holy and become whole. Hence, donut hole communion. So we're going to begin with that ritual in a little bit, truly unlike any other ritual that any tradition that I'm familiar with conducts. For no other ritual that I know in any other religion centers on donuts. So the little inbreaking from outside reminds me that you'll have to right now, if you're at home, go to your fridge, get something that you love and just set it right in front of you on the computer keyboard. All right, so we're gonna come get our donut holes now, but wait, before you come up, I just want you to know, I need my helpers to come on up. I need my helpers. If you are gluten sensitive, or if you have if you're on a keto diet or some no carb situation, come around this side over here and we have a grape station. It's the same shape, right? All right. Otherwise, I'd invite you to form a line here, and if you're a great person over here, here, and over there, I'll let you self-select, and come get a donut from our donut acolytes. Oh, very importantly, don't eat them. Do not eat them. Yet. right, did everybody get a donut hole? Did everybody who got a donut hole or a grape still have their donut hole? Or did anybody eat their donut hole? Because excommunication awaits you. All right, so don't eat it. Smell it. If you want, you could like stick your tongue out just a little bit and taste it, just a bit. All right. Don't eat it. You have to hold on to it for a while. It's going to get sticky in your fingers. This in itself weirdly creates a little bit of space. We're developing some tension between your desire and what you're able to do for the moment. So hang on, enjoy the space. The donut will taste great. Okay, so the reason why we're doing this in some ways is because, we've got that liturgical calendar, right? Water communion, All Souls, soil communion, what is it called? Christmas and solstice. And on, and then later we've got flower communion, we've got Earth Day, and Easter and equinox. But there's this like hole in the calendar from roughly January through whenever Easter is. And so a couple of years ago, my staff and I were thinking, what goes there? What ceremony goes in that hole? And well, the Christians have the tradition of Lent. That kind of fits into this time period, which is about to begin on Wednesday, right? Which is Valentine's Day and Ash Wednesday. So there's like a precedent for there being, and that Lent thing kind of creates some spaciousness. So we kind of got inspired to do that. I've got no problem ripping off of our former tradition, because our former tradition ripped off of our former tradition anyway. So like it's all palimpsesting and laying on top of one another. So we grafted this onto Lent kind of, which effectively creates space, gives an opportunity to remove something from your life so that you are reminded of the holy. Empty your cup, so to speak, right? To remind you of the holy. So it's sort of like not eating the donut. And it's not the only tradition that embraces space making, of course. The Jewish tradition has space making every week on the Sabbath. Taoism has the whole philosophy of non-action, Wu Wei. Meditative practices in Buddhism cultivate that sense. So we sort of came up with this holy, holy, holy days to take our own spin on it, and we gather as a community. Whoever wants to, you don't have to do it, of course, at all. But starting on Wednesday, the practice is this. You take some time out of your day, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and you do nothing. You do nothing. No walks. Walking the dog is not doing nothing. No naps. No TV. Nothing. You lollygag for 5 or 10 minutes. We'll send out later this week a way for us to sort of connect digitally and report on some of our experiences. But the main thing is that every single day you take a little time, and it could be as brief as 5 minutes, and do nothing. No program, no intention, no breathing exercises or postures, just hang out. 5 minutes. So in some ways, Holy, Holy, Holy Days is like those other practices of spaciousness, but it's its own variety also. The Lenten approach features withdrawal and sacrifice. The Sabbath approach is about rest. Taoism is about emptiness. And Buddhism practice creates or cultivate a state of being that is not contingent on context, by engaging in formal physical postures and mental procedures. So we're not doing any of that. We're just hanging out for 5 minutes. All of those approaches are beautiful and fulfilling methods of spiritual nourishment, and we'd be really well served to engage in any or all of them. But what I'm inviting you into for the next 6 weeks, while clearly related, is also distinct. It is utterly accessible. It develops a muscle for shifting perspective, for dropping into depth at will. So I know that because I've done it. And I will tell you that when I first did it, the first couple of days of sitting and not doing anything for 5 minutes was a little bit weird at first. But before long, I found myself in that time noticing things like the angles and quality of light, like sounds, like how shapes interrelated with each other. And by noticing, I became more integrated, more a part of them. And it changed the shape of my being because it changed the shape of the container of my being. And I found I could do it anywhere. Sitting in the woods was fine, but standing in line at a grocery store, I could do the same thing. And patience then became an opportunity to get a bit shamanic. So taking just a little bit out of every day to do nothing becomes a spiritual experience, especially in a world that robs us of our freedom by its insistence on doing stuff, even if doing stuff is just binge watching a TV show. We're constantly pressured, feeling the pressure to do something. Like even formal meditation can become subject to that pressure to do something. I'm asking you to do nothing. Holy, holy, holy days becomes permission. Permission to notice, permission to consciously be a part of our world. Of course, there will always be a time for doing, but spaciousness, the cultivation of spaciousness makes deeds more vibrant, more lived. You'll never be bored. With enough practice, the spaciousness can exist within the doing of things, and more until they are one. Spaciousness and doing become one thing, and at that time you are just aquatic in the divine. So the first thing to do is do nothing, literally, for 5-10 minutes a day. Lollygag, loll, daydream. Daydream. Just wait. So the whole poem by Galway Kinnell, called Wait. Wait for now. Distrust everything if you have to, but trust the hours. Haven't they carried you everywhere up to now? Personal events will become interesting again. Hair will become interesting. Pain will become interesting. Buds that open out of season will become interesting. Secondhand gloves will become lovely again. Their memories are what give them the need for other hands. The desolation of lovers is the same, that enormous emptiness carved out of such tiny beings as we are asks to be filled. The need for the new love is faithfulness to the old. Wait. Don't go too early. You're tired, but everyone's tired. But no one is tired enough. Only wait a little and listen. Music of hair, music of pain, music of looms weaving our loves again. Be there to hear it. It will be the only time. Most of all, to hear your whole existence, rehearsed by the sorrows, play itself into total exhaustion. So that's the invitation, a little daydreaming. Should you accept it, then please receive the following blessing with it. As we go into our holy, holy, holy days, may we make space in our busy lives for nothing to happen. May we notice and dream. May we make a hole in time. May what we find make us whole. May we feel the holy in our lives. May we find sweetness. May we discover goodness glazed. And now, may we eat. Oh, I'm supposed to give a benediction. I think you're saying it. They call this the spacious benediction. As we go and depart from this sacred space and place that we made together with our intention and intention, let us go by cultivating a little bit of time and space in our lives outside so that we can connect, feel that gratitude, feel a part of the world. And let us go whistling.